Hey guys, what's up? My name is Anthony. Welcome to another edition of BNA Sports Talk, and I just made a list of I realized this is all spurred off from the other day. I was just like, wait, who? He's on this team? I'm like, wait, what? And I didn't realize. I didn't realize Corey Littleton was on the Raiders. Like, I just totally forgot. And then I'm like, oh yeah, now I remember. Like, oh wait, Melvin Gordon, he's a Bronco, that sort of thing. So I'm gonna mention some of the guys that I've been like, wait, what? And why I think that some of them could potentially work and some of them potentially not. This is not like an all positive. This is like an underrated signings and me guessing whether or not they could work. So first of all, Pierre Louis. He had a 90 PFF ranking from the Bears. He has just amazing instincts, range, talent. I think it's an amazing addition for the Redskins. Your linebacking core, as far as the guys on the line, you have Deron Payne. But as far as guys behind the line, you didn't really have a lot of talent there. And I think bringing in a guy like Pierre Louis, I think he can develop into a leader with this defense. He's playing on a really talented team with the Bears. We'll see how he does with a little bit of a less talented Redskins. But you have Chase Young, you have Montez Sweat, and a guy stood up that has decent cover ability, if I remember correctly. Watching, we have the best PFF rating for coverage, but I think he's more of a tackler from what I remember. Pierre Louis to the Redskins, I love that. I think the Redskins knocked it out of the park. I could say that as a Giants fan. Next, Nelson Aguilar for the Raiders. I'm like, wait, what? The Raiders were really busy this offseason adding Jason Witten. And what my worry is for the Raiders is like, did you add too many people, especially with this whole COVID thing? Is it too much for team camaraderie? They had, you brought in Jason Witten. Now you have Jonathan Abram. Your secondary got completely transformed. You have Damon Arnett, Prince Amukamara. I believe they have another corner that I'm forgetting. I'm really forgetting. Then you have Corey Littleton that you brought in. It's a lot of talent. It's a lot of talent. The offensive line's but it is not evaluating the Raiders roster. It's about Nelson Aguilar. He had a lot of drop issues. New change of scenery, it could work. Do I think it's going to work? No, but they also have a lot of new wide receivers. Henry Ruggs, they brought in. I'm missing one. There's one more guy they brought in. But you also have Tyrell Williams, Darren Waller. And if he can have a little bit less stress, I think John Gruden may be a little bit of pain in his ass. Like, you're petrified to drop the ball. And that we saw happen with Odell Beckham Jr. It feels like his hands are getting worse. He used to have the best hands in the league, and it feels like he's dropping the ball every game. But Nelson Aguilar to the Raiders was one of those. I was like, wait, what? Next is the Chargers with Linval Joseph, ex-Giant. This is a Giants main channel. Somebody's like, you have a below football IQ. I'm like, I know. I'm just making videos for fun. But Linval Joseph, his PFF rating has been going down. It was a 92 years ago. Then 1 year ago, not this past season, but it was like a 72, then changed to a 70. But I think he has still some juice left in him. He has, I think, 11 or 12 years in this league. With the Chargers, you have Jerry Tillery now. You have Melvin Ingram. You have Joey Bosa. That defensive line, you just need a little bit more, I guess, depth. I'm not too knowledgeable about their depth. I could have just done a quick Google search, but I felt like it wouldn't have been right for me to be like, oh, they have a decent amount of depth. Those are the guys that I know. They could have decent amount of depth. I think that potentially adding a little bit more depth to the defensive line would be good, but that could be a scary defensive line. Now you have a pretty good secondary. I'm like, that can be elite defense next year. It really all depends on what Justin Herbert does and how he develops, and Tyrod Taylor or whatever. I just don't believe in them. But Linval Joseph, amazing acquisition for them. Next, the Peyton Barber / they also brought in another running back from the Lions, J.D. McKissick. J.D. McKissick from the Lions. Two guys that are not great. I watched the Peyton Barber highlights. He has 3 yards a carry. He can burst out for big runs, but he's not really that sort of guy. But you got in some guys for the Redskins to help out Adrian Peterson, to help out Darius Guice, who's been injured. But I wouldn't give up on him just yet. I wouldn't. You can't give up on that talent. He's only 22. He'll be 23 when the season starts. But you can't give up on that talent. I don't think so. Maybe Ron Rivera has no ties and he does, but I'd be cautious doing that. Adrian Peterson isn't getting any younger. So now you have a lot of chefs in the kitchen. I saw 3 other running backs that they had as well. We'll see. But I think bringing in some more running back depth is great for the Redskins. They're on this list twice. I think they had some pretty good acquisitions. You got rid of a Josh Norman. The Josh Norman's on the team. You got rid of him. You let him sign with the Bills. That was smart. Your wide receivers, I don't really like the experience there. I think it's a little bit too young with Gandy Golden, with the guy that you drafted in the second round that I always forget his name. Then you also have, obviously your guys that you drafted last year. You have Sims. Then you have the, I forgot his name, but then their number one wide receiver that we all know. And the Dwayne Haskins, we'll see what the offensive line what it does. With the loss of Trent Williams, it may hurt out these running backs. But, you got to get a left tackle offensive lineman. You have Brandon Sheriff. But if you can figure out your offensive line, you also lost Eric Flowers. So the offensive line is going to be a huge factor for them next year, especially with the development of Dwayne Haskins. And yeah, I think that the Redskins, Payne Barber is a good acquisition. I just wish they could have gotten another offensive lineman. That I don't think they got one this offseason. I don't really think they replenished their talent. I could be wrong. But yeah, so next is Quinton Jefferson, finally, of the Bills. This is not ranked in really any order. But I saw some games with him in the Seahawks while I was analyzing some film. Quinn Jefferson doesn't have a lot of stats, but from what I noticed, he's always around the ball, and he just makes key plays. He doesn't. He has a lot of missed tackles, but I think for the Bills, he likes their culture there. He loved the culture of the Seahawks, and if you're a guy like Quinton Jefferson, you join a culture that's just really good. You have some new draft picks. You bolster that defensive line with John Oliver, who is hopefully not John Oliver, Ed Oliver. Who's John Oliver? Yeah, it's the comedian John Oliver. I don't know why I said that. Well, I know why I said that, but I shouldn't have said that. And so I think Quinton Jefferson could be a decent piece. He's been in the league for a couple years, can bring experience to that defensive line. And you also have so many good players on the defensive line, too. That can be scary. I think it's another good depth piece for them, especially since you lost Jordan Phillips to the Arizona Cardinals. I think that's an underrated signing. And yeah, I'm not going to mention so many small signings. I'm going to be like, oh, I noticed with this one guy, they did a film analysis. I'm not doing too much depth. Like Zach Samo did a film analysis on why DK Metcalf could specifically work for the Seattle offense. I'm not going to get too into depth of oh, this guy can particularly work because I saw one thing. And yeah, so it's kind of crazy. All these players have changed positions and teams. The Raiders were really busy. And, the Saints made some decent just re-signings. They didn't bring in a whole bunch, but Emmanuel Sanders is kind of a little bit of a runner-up to this list. I think that will be a key acquisition for them. So bringing in him and also bringing in a Malcolm Jenkins. That team has a whole load of experience for the playoffs. We'll just see if Drew Brees' arm can hold up and if they can potentially beat out Tom Brady for this division, because I think it's going to be close. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys think. What are some of your underrated signings, and do you think they can work? And I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye, guys.